Hey, Friday evening. Uh, not sure the date. Think 8th, maybe. Maybe, let's see. Not positive, anyway. Oh, maybe somebody can give me a solution. I have a 1994 F-150 Ford, uh, straight six, 300, 4.9 liter, 5-speed standards, four-wheel drive. But I'm having trouble with the running on it. You start it, and it'll spit and sputter at about 400 RPMs. It'll do that sometimes for I don't know. It'll do that sometimes for 5 seconds, maybe a little longer, and then it'll finally rev up. The computer will bring it up, and it'll rev up to whatever, maybe 1200 RPMs, 13, and just gradually come back down to into a normal idle range, and it seems to idle pretty good. But you get out on the road and you pull out in like first gear, and you just gradually go to giving it fuel, and it'll act like it wants to buck a little bit, or has spots of hesitation in it. It'll take fuel, then it seems like you almost put a governor on it, and it'll do it 2 or 3 times. First and second gear, you notice it more in them, but the hesitation's there. The power's not right. You get in fifth gear, and you can throttle down in it, and it just flutters. It'll get, well, you run it up to about 65, 60, 65, and it flutters like there's a governor on it. And I've changed the throttle position sensor. I've put a new coolant temperature sensor in it for the computer to run by. Let's see, I put a NOx sensor in it. I've cleaned the throttle vacuum valve on it, actuator. I've cleaned it. I've sprayed some carbon choke cleaner in the map sensor, trying to clean it, and I've cleaned connectors and this and that and whatever. And the computer's giving me codes, but the codes are not quite making sense. I've been told to run a fuel pressure test on the injector heads, injector rail. I haven't done that. That could probably be it. Could be in the fuel, maybe the something else. But I got a code here the other day that told me it was set as fuel pump relay circuit. Maybe there's a bad wire or plug on top of the tank or something going down to the fuel pump or something there. But then I seen another video that said sometimes if you have a bad ground wire on your PCM, that bad ground wire can cause your computers to throw out different codes, different kinds of codes, just random codes or something sometimes. And I've got, I don't know, I've gotten probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6 different codes out of the old computer at different times, and but something's not right. And maybe somebody out there will have a good solution to what I'm dealing with. Get my old Ford running, get it lined up right, or lined out right, running, getting my power right. It's been about 2 weeks ago. I went down the road in the early morning, something maybe in the neighborhood of about 8:30 in the morning. It was cold, and I'd gotten into fifth gear, and I wasn't. I was less than an eighth of a mile, or maybe an eighth of a mile down the road, something like that. I'd gotten into fifth gear, and I was at about 40 mile an hour, something like that. And I throttled down that old truck, and it run. I mean, it just took fuel and just took off fifth gear now. And the power it surprised me, and I actually looked down to see if I hadn't still wasn't in fourth gear or something. But something's wrong with it. Maybe somebody's got an answer. You can get back to me and let me know if you've dealt with it or what you think it might be, and I'll go from there. I've thought about seeing the brother-in-law or just going and buying me a fuel pressure gauge test kit, just test it myself, and maybe even get me a scanner so I read some live data on the computer, and see what it does. And just like to get the whole thing lined out. Makes it kind of tough to get out into something when you don't know if you're going to trust it. It did give me trouble here back about a month ago, 3 weeks, a month ago, and got me out, and I'd cut it off, went in this place for about 20 minutes and come back out. It wouldn't start. It'd hit, it'd start that sputter, and then it'd quit. It'd crank it again, it'd hit, start to sputter, and quit. It done it and done it and done it and done it and done it, and then it finally did start, and I got out on the road, but I had to stop and get gas on the way home, so I stopped at a service station to where that there's a bank rolling down off of the back side of the pumps, and I could start it, coast it and start it. And I managed to get it home. The next day I went out to maybe check it out, see what was going on, because it'd quit cranking. And when I went out to check it, it cost me a starter and a solenoid on the fender well both. So, I can't stand much of that. If you got any solutions or any good ideas for me, let me know something. And I appreciate it. You can message me or just whatever. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Old John.